they would have chains, they would be in shackles, and they really couldn't say no. If the landowner said, I want you to till the land until 10 in the evening, you would till the land until 10 in the evening. It's forced labor. And all of us would say, yeah, that's true, but how does that connect with us now? Nowadays, I believe a lot of Christians are enslaved. But not to a taskmaster, not to another human being, but we are enslaved with what? With a vice, with a sin. A sin that persists in our life. That's why I chose this. Well, not I chose, but God led me to this topic because I think this is really helpful for all of us. Because I think for most of us, we are indeed in bondage of sin. We are enslaved, and it could be a sin of lying, of gossiping, a sin of temper, a sin of hatred, a sin of unforgiveness, a sin of discontent, a sin of grumbling, and it's eating you. You're enslaved. It's a sin wherein as if you're submissive to the will of that. As if that you have no control, that when this person does this to me, I have no choice but get angry. Lord, I can't help but cheat. I can't help but lie. I can't help but get angry. I can't help but feel bitter. And you think you're free, but in reality, you're enslaved. You have no choice. It's as if you're being controlled. And you've been carrying that not for one day, not for 1 week or a month. For some of us, we've been carrying that sin for years. And we tell ourselves, I'll never forgive him. I'll never forgive her. Or I'll never forget. Or I'll never change. That is the slavery that most Christians are in. And I submit, we have been fooled by the devil. We have been deceived by the devil. The devil, as we all know, is what? The great deceiver. The devil likes deceiving us. He likes fooling us. One of his greatest power is the power to deceive. And this is not like a magic trick. He's able to deceive us in a way that is so convincing that you don't know that you are being deceived. I have this illustration that I normally give, and Erwin, chances are you've heard this illustration, but let me share it again. Let's say Santino wished, Dad, I want for Christmas, what I want for Christmas is a remote control car. Good? Then one day, me and Bambino and Bettina, we went to the Robinson's department store. We bought a toy. And Santina saw. He said, Kuya, what's that? Oh, Dada bought you the Christmas gift. Nice. And Santina asked, what is it? Is it a remote control car? And Kuya said, Bambina said, no. What Dada got you is a brand new socks. Oh, what? Yes, a brand new socks. What would you think would Santino feel? What would you feel? Bad. And the problem is, at night, Santino was so excited. When he sleeps, he was going like that as if he was already playing with his remote control car. But lo and behold, the kuya said, it's a brand. Hey, Santino, mind you, he got you 3 colors, green, blue, and red. What? I really don't care about the socks. And it's December 20 when that happened. Santino was grumbling, was really upset, you know, he doesn't want to talk to me. And I said, oh, Santino, come here. And, you know, he would hug me as if it's a lame hug. And then, you know, oh, I got you, give up, thank you, Dad. Something like that. And Bambino was sure, you know, Santino, it's nice socks. And said, what? What socks? I want a toy, I want a toy, I want a toy. December 25 comes and I was giving away the gifts. Bambino, here's your gift. He opens it. Bettina, here's your gift. She opens it. She opens it. Santino, here's your gift. He doesn't want to open it. Not that is okay. And he was like, doesn't want. When we're waking him up for Noche Buena, he doesn't want to wake up. Really feels bad. Lo and behold, I said, Santino, really, open the toy. Open the gift. When he opened it, it was the remote control car he wanted. Guess what happened? All of a sudden, he's on top of the world. All of a sudden, he's happy. All of a sudden, he's gay. That's the point of the Bible. All along, the truth was there. All along, it was a remote control car. But the devil, Kuya, in this case, was deceiving and saying, guess what? God gave you a socks. And all of us were disappointed. We're grumbling. We're complaining. Lord, why are you going to give me a socks? But in reality, what God gave him was a remote control car. But unless he opens and realizes the truth, he will act defeated. He will act disgruntled. He will complain. Same is true with the devil. The devil is the father of lies. And one of the things that he lies about to us is this: you need to sin. You have no choice but to sin. And a lot of us, we fall into the trap of believing, but I'm just human. I cannot really resist this. Oh, I'm a work in progress. I cannot defeat sin. But the Bible, the truth is, we are victorious. Go to our passage today, Romans chapter 8, please. Romans chapter 8, verse 1 says, therefore, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. The Bible tells us in early part of Romans, especially chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, all the chapters is saying what? You are condemned, you are condemned, you are condemned. You have sinned against a holy God, and the penalty of that is eternal damnation. But what this passage is telling us is this: there is no condemnation. Realize this, what this passage is saying. No one, absolutely no one, will be condemned to hell. You know, if you look at this in the Greek, the first word of the sentence is not therefore. It's not there is. No, it's not. The first word in the Greek sentence is the word no. Because Paul wants that to be the emphasis. No condemnation. But some of us will say, but I still make mistakes. Yes, you will make mistakes. But I will fail. I will trip. But what makes this passage glorious is no matter how often you fail, no matter how often we trip, the Bible tells us that we will never be condemned. Jesus did not say that He would take away all our problems in life. But He tells us that even if we fail in our problems in life, we will not be condemned. You know, I was just talking to somebody, asking counseling from me. And the person was telling me, Bobby, punong-puno na ako sa anak ko. Gusto ko na siyang palayasin. And we hear that. We hear stories. My grandfather, I remember, while he was sick in his deathbed, one of my pamangkins cursed him. And my grandfather medyo napuno. Dinisinherit yung pamangkin niya, apo niya. But the great thing is this: no amount of sin in our life will disinherit us. No condemnation. We will never be condemned. Please go to John chapter 3, please. John chapter 3, verse 18 says, He who believes in Him is not condemned. But he who does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed the name of the only begotten Son of God. Jump to John chapter 5, verse 24. It says, Most surely I say to you, he who hears my word and believes in Him who sent me has everlasting life and shall not come into judgment, but has passed from death into life. You will never be judged. Ang galing, no? You will not even be called to be judged for your sin. But some of us will say, but Bob, what about the one in Corinthians, the Bema seat? But the Bema seat is really there for judgment, in order that God will give us a reward for the good things that we have done for Him. Now, there is now no condemnation, but there's a condition. For those who are in Christ Jesus. It is only for those who are in Christ Jesus that there is no condemnation. Because if you are not in Christ Jesus, there is nothing but condemnation.